I came to get some answers. Well, Mr. Benson, it's good to see you. You know, it's just a whole lot more than being investigated and just asking questions. Some of the people are not suspects, they just don't like me asking questions, and that's where the danger is involved. What I wanted to hire you for is that, to catch my brother's killer. My brother was a Benson. He was a deacon of the church. He got involved with the woman at the church. He had an affair with her. Well, he had a family at home. Well, the woman's husband, he found out about it. So he planned the murder. He hired a trigger man. He hired a woman to kidnap him, posing as if her battery was dead on the car, so when my brother went to jump her off, well, the trigger man was waiting. They forced him into the car, took him to an abandoned road, and killed him, shot him in the back. Mr. Henderson is the man responsible for this, and he walked. He walked out of that court of law. What it was, he wasn't read his rights, so the prosecution wouldn't prosecute. They got evidence later, and it wasn't enough to stand up in the court of law, so a killer walks. What I'm saying, Mr. Williams, I want justice for my brother's killing, and I failed it. He's responsible for this last murder. They're just gone over to the cold case files. No proof. I just feel that he is. I understand that you want your brother's killer caught. It would bring closure. There was not enough evidence presented in a court of law, and even though the court knew he was guilty, well, they turned him loose. I guess they had no choice under the letter of the law. Well, I've got leads. I think I'm getting somewhere, but I don't know. Sheriff Winslow, I finished my school as an investigator. I'm a licensed investigator. I've had 3 cases. So far I've came out on every one of them. But you're a lawman. You look... What I'm saying, Sheriff Winslow, you are a lawman. You served in law enforcement long before you ran for sheriff, and you've been elected 5 straight terms. That's quite an accomplishment. the belief of the people in your county. Now, I could use some help with these cold case files from somebody with experience. Tell me about law enforcement. Would it be good or bad? It has been pretty poor in law enforcement around in certain areas, but I'm sure you're out to improve things.
Well, I think I think the law enforcement is going to get better around, especially this cold case thing that we're digging up. That should help the law enforcement really good. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to dig up these cold case files and bring them to justice. I know a lot of them go on 10, 15, 20 years, and you finally wind up digging them up.
Well, I guess this would have went on, but what it was, personally, I felt it could have been foul play within the department. Somebody's covering up something, and personally, I feel that it needed to be investigated. This case, it was clear, but if we hadn't stepped into it, this is one case that we've been on for 20 years probably, and nothing probably ever came of it.
Well, there's a lot of them that nothing ever comes of any of them. They just sort of get forgot about. And but I think more and more of them's coming up, and there's a challenge now, and law enforcement is really eager and willing to do something about it. And you got better ways of proving stuff now.
Well, what I want to ask you, Sheriff Winslow, how do you compare law enforcement today to the way it was, say, 30 years ago? I'm just saying, I felt that, you know, by questioning a suspect and possibly you could look into a person's eyes and tell whether they were telling the truth or lying, but right now they got DNA. How much difference do you actually think it makes? And were the old law enforcement years ago, was it really that far behind modern times? How do you feel about it?
Well, the DNA brought everything up to date as far as proving a person's guilt. So it's a lot better now with the DNA. If it hadn't been for the DNA, everything was sort of standing still. But the DNA it's really bettered everything. And we got a lot of people out of prisons that wasn't guilty of what they had done, and they served 15, 20 years and get out. That's really great.
Well, you know, a lot of people that have been sent to prison know beyond a shadow of doubt that they were guilty, but I feel there's a lot of innocent people been sent to prison. Now, how do you feel about that?
Oh, there's a lot of people been sent to prison that wasn't guilty. I think a lot of corruption in law enforcement through the years, that they had the pressure from the departments ahead of them and higher up than them, and they had pressure on them to find somebody guilty. And I think that's the reason a lot of the people that were sent to prison that wasn't guilty, that's the reason they got there, is because of pressure on the department to pin it on somebody. So now that the DNA is come into play, that pressure's not there anymore. They don't feel like they gotta get somebody that quick, because if they put somebody in there that's not guilty and they find it out later, they got all this money to pay out for these people that spent time in jail and wasn't guilty. They have to pay them off, and that goes into a lot of enforcement's budgets. So it's a big difference now.
Well, what I want to ask you about, and I've got a certain amount of information on penicillin chloride, where a person be given that, it can shut down the heart. They've actually gave heart patients that, and I've been told as people have been killed in that way where it does
Oh.
not show up on autopsy. What can you tell me about that?
That was a bad thing. A lot of people was given that. And a lot of people was innocent that was given that. So the DNA has really helped out all this bad stuff that went on.
Well, what I want to ask you is that I was told that somebody could give somebody just a small amount of arsenic over a period of time. A real small amount. When they died, it wouldn't show up in an autopsy. Is it anything to that or not?
It wouldn't. It didn't show. It won't show up. If it's given small doses for a long period of time, it won't show up. A lot of law enforcement has exhumed bodies and dug them up, and they still couldn't find anything. So, yeah, there's truth to it.
In other words, I know this one situation where the death of the person just didn't seem right. They ruled it a massive heart attack in the hospital, yet the person had body sent off for an autopsy. Why would they have it sent off if the doctor already ruled cause of death?
You asked me something I can't even. You're gonna have to cut all this out. You asked me something I don't know.
That is what I want to hear. When you said that you don't know the answer, I'm confident that everything you told me that you did know was reliable, because you believe it to be accurate. That's good education for me. Yeah, it's really good to get out and look at the beauty of nature and just get away from a person's problems. I wanted to talk with you on this new book you're writing, The Mind of a Criminal. I've talked with Sheriff Winslow on his experience as a lawyer. I feel that his advice can help me profile the person I'm after. And with this book you're writing, I feel that you can help me. You've been a lawman and an investigator most of your life. I want to learn the behavior of the criminal. That can help me profile him and help me track him down. If I know his behavior, I just feel that it'll lead me to the right place. All I'm saying is, if I know his behavior,
Hey, mister. Give me $10 for my mama. She's sick.
Well, I got a better one. My mama's sick and I need to buy her medicine.
Man, don't give us no stuff.
Well,
Give us some money.
oh, I got your money all right. I'll give you your money. This one's for good luck. And that one's mother. You want some too, boy?
No,
I think you need some.
No, don't you? No.
I got your mother. Scum.
Well, Mr. Williams, it's good to see you today. You seem to be enjoying yourself.
Enjoying myself very much. From what I understand of it.
Yes, I heard about this shooting. I don't know the motive. I just don't feel that Mr. Henderson was involved. It just don't fit his profile. What do you think?
That's good thinking there. I hadn't even thought of that. I bet you that's the case. I bet you anything that's what's going on. We need to check that out good.
What would you suggest? How would we go about checking it out?
Some of the guys that I used to work with is really good at that. And they would really do that and do a good job for me. I'll contact them and see what kind of plan they can put together.
Okay, what I plan on doing, I'm planning on, you know, hanging around at the bars and kind of working undercover. I might get more information like that. If I say I'm an investigator, there'll be enough trouble with this. Somebody don't ask questions, answer questions.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to gather what information I can out of loose talk.
Okay.
Look, it's the club bar. I'm going to check it.
You coming here, somebody's gonna die. I'm warning you.
Look, I got some questions to ask about Owen Carter. Now, what can anybody tell me?
Come on. Come on. I want to hear your backs.
Have a seat, James. Yeah. About Ron. He didn't really run away. I just ran him off. Well, what I was going to tell you.
Yes, that no good brother of mine took what money we had for farm expenses and left.
Ron is not in any trouble. He's been seen in a bar with someone fitting Jim Henderson's description. Jim is not a suspect yet. He is a person of interest, and I wanted to talk with Ron. I was hoping he'd be able to find him, or help me find him.
I go out and work these fields day after day, yet my sorry brother don't lift one finger to help. He goes out drinking and spending his money on the women. I've stood behind my father 100%. Yet one half of this farm goes to my brother as well as me. It angers me to think about it.
He scares me when he gets to drinking. I don't know what he'll do. I've been thinking about leaving, just to get away from him. I'm scared of that man.
You must stay on. You know Mr. Brooks needs you. He depends on you. Not only as just a friend, but as someone to talk to. He needs someone to talk to. He needs a friend. And his other son, he's a poor excuse for a friend.
Well, he won't bother you in this house.
That's right. I've seen it with my own eyes. Before his mother died, he came in late one night. He was drinking. He was cursing at his mother. Well, Mr. Brooks slapped him right down on the floor. He has a nasty right. Ron won't bother you in this house. He knows better.
Look, could I talk with Mr. Brooks when he returns home?
But with Ron, of course, he was a little difficult to work with at times, like most kids. But then when he went to that city, when he left, I'm afraid that he sold his soul to the devil.
Mr. Brooks, I'm cold case detective Billy Davison Williams. I've checked the bars, and your son Ron has been seen with someone fitting Jim Henderson's description. Now, Jim is a person of interest in this cold case file that I'm working on, and I was hoping that your son Ron could help me find him.
Ron will straighten out. Yeah, I can remember his mother, dear Ruth. What a great woman she was. She really raised them kids up. She really wanted them to be fine gentlemen. Yeah, she's not with us anymore. And I miss her. But, well, of course, Ron was always, he was, from time to time, we had our problems with him. But when he got to be a man, he went to that city. That poor boy, he sold his soul to the devil.
Well, Mr. Henderson, I feel that I'm getting leads. I feel that I'm getting somewhere. I feel that these people's reaction, they are pressured. It can get dangerous, but maybe I like the danger of my job. Maybe that's why I want to be a cold case investigator. What I'm saying is, I don't know yet but I think we're on the right track. Well, what have you got, Mr. Williams? What progress are we making? Sheriff Winslow and Sheriff Taylor in Fulton County, they're working with me on this case. And we feel that Mr. Henderson is in this area, and he's going under alias name, possibly Jim Benson. It's just a matter of time. The main thing is, if we bring this man in, I can't promise you that he won't beat the loopholes in court. They knew he was guilty the other time, they turned him loose. It can happen again. Maybe Mr. Henderson is not the guilty party, but he's at least responsible for one murder they got by with. Possibly, if you can nail him for the second murder, maybe, just maybe, justice will be done. They knew he was guilty the other time, they turned him loose. It can happen again. Something I don't want, something I know you don't want. It can happen again. Well, look, I wish you the best, and I'll get back with you.
We really want to thank the Sheriff Department for returning the money to the store.
Well, that's no laughing matter. There's a vigilante in our presence, and we don't know who he's going to hit next.
Well, at least someone's doing something about it.
Well, don't make him out to be the hero.
This man is setting himself up to be judge and executioner. And if any of you make a mistake, he could draw down on you. Think about your children. Most of you have teenagers. What do you think about that, Mr. Howard?
Well, as an insurance representative, we could be a great risk. I'm talking financially as well. We could be paying out a whole lot more money than we could possibly take in.
Well, I heard you had some new information for me. What can you tell me?
Well, you here to help me track down this Jim Benson. That's what we're planning on doing, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, when we was after Will Simmons, we thought he was missing.
Yeah.
We thought it was foul play, and it was foul play, but he was the killer.
Yeah. Well, this Benson's a pretty rough hombre. He's going to be hard to catch. He's tricky.
What I'm saying is that, anyway, Chuck, he got information out of this, Mr. Lee's book.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only information he got was that, Jim Benson and Mr. Howard have been... Jim Benson in the last case, well, he was a freeloader, and he's mixing cement for the county, and if he don't show up for work, well, he'll be behind those prison bars. Now, this Jim Benson that was seen with Mr. Howard, possibly it's Jim Henderson. Maybe he's the killer. Maybe he took the Benson name after killing Mr. Benson. It's Mr. Howard, I don't know where he fits in. I feel that Ron Brooks, he holds the key, and I've just got to find him. I've got to. I'm looking for answers.
Hey, if you're looking for trouble, you came to the right place, buddy.
I'm Inspector Williams. I'm looking for answers.
So you're an old friend of Chang Lo, are you, huh? Well, that's nice.
Okay, come on.
Tell me something about your brutal fights there in the military.
Well, there was a case in the military. I was stationed in Fort Riley, Kansas, and I was coming out of a bar. I saw a man beating another one. He was finally beating him unconscious in the street, so I went in to help. The man turned on me, and I knocked him down, and I just kept on beating on him till he was out of it. And this one sergeant in the military gave me a hard time, but he really liked me after that. He said, Billy saw what that man had done to the other man. He was laying in the street. So Billy wanted to make sure that he didn't get back up. Well, I don't feel that guilty about a lot of things. I just look at things the way that I see them. Well, Mr. Williamson, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, thank you, Billy. By the way, did you ever consider being a law enforcement officer of some kind?
Well, it's just too much commitment, and besides, if there's trouble, I want to be there when it's happening.
I see. I feel, you know, you could be a real service to your community if you could do this and be involved in law enforcement and be a service to the community both at the same time. I feel you have that in you to be able to be this and do this.
Well, it's something to consider, but you know, I just like set my own schedule. Oh, I know what you're wanting to do, Mr. Williams. You want to take my freedom away as an investigator. As a lawman, I would have to go by the letter of the law.
Yeah, those were the days for us. Yep. But gotta say one thing, we sure enjoyed ourselves. But I tell you, I got a feeling that I think Ron will straighten himself out. Hey, I tell you what. How about a cup of coffee? Okay. Good. All right. Follow me to the kitchen. Well, Mr. Howard, I'm just filling in for Hal.
Well, don't worry. I locked the door.
Well, if you're here to sell me some insurance, just want to let you know I'm covered.
Well, I'm afraid you just wouldn't qualify.
What sense?
You see, you're what we call a terminal risk. Somebody who's almost guaranteed to get killed. So you wouldn't qualify for our insurance. See, I checked the records. You have a criminal record. You killed a man a while back. You were tried. You served a few years. That man, he can't go back to his family. He is still in his grave. He'll never go home again because of you, Mr. Johnson. You think going straight and letting you go like that will just let everything go rosy? No, Mr. Johnson. I'm afraid it doesn't set too well with me.
Look, I didn't want to kill him, man. He had a gun in his cash register, and he went for it.
Well, if you get off scot-free and he just rolls around in his grave, you are committing a robbery, Mr. Johnson. Come now. I don't think that's going to set very well with me at all. I won't give you any slack. I'm afraid something's going to have to be done about you, Mr. Johnson.
Well, you know, back in the old days, the Old West, kind of had a code of honor. A man faced up to another man with a gun. If a man was shot down in cold blood, he was hanged. Hanged for us.
Well, I'm going to give you the honor of drawing for your gun first. Why don't you just go for it, Mr. Johnson? Just go for it.
Look, I've talked with Ron Brooks. They've got him in jail in Newbern. He's been held on an assault charge. The man Ron Brooks has been seen with, he definitely does not fit the profile of the Jim Benson I'm looking for, but he is a person of interest, and Ron told me where to find him. hear the chants. It's up in that wooded area there, in Old Shack. He's going to be hard to catch. He's dangerous from what I hear with the firearm. Well, I'm going to have to try to arrest this man. I'm going to have to try. Yes, he's not going to be easy to take. See, he's got that rifle with him.
Wish we could arrest this man, but we just don't have anything to charge him with.
I just feel that that's our man. That is our man.
Mr. Howard, we don't want to sign terminal risk clients. What I mean by a terminal risk client is, if you feel they've got one foot in the grave, don't sign them. It'd be money in our pocket now, but the overhead's killing us.
Well, Mr. Williams, I feel we're in complete agreement.
This is the G.I. Joe.
Well, Sheriff Winslow, I know you've been enforcing the law for years. Not only as officer, but you've been elected as sheriff in this county 5 straight elections. Now, I've been to investigator school, and I've learned a lot. Yep, it's not like hearing the sources from someone that's been in the field for years now. Over the years, I know you've had cases like this, so there's got to be something you can hold this man on. His real name is Jake Lannon, and I'm sure that's been verified with your reports. I served with this man in the military. I know his profile, I know his behavior. He had a resentment for authority. He actually knocked out a senior officer and stripped of his rank. Oh, he made back sergeant one time I was in his company. He had a hatred for the criminal. He blamed law enforcement for not shooting them down when the situation presented itself. And this John Howard, there was a vigilante back in the Maryland, back in the 90s. Possibly his role model, possibly took his name. I felt there's got to be something you can hold this man for. And this sounds like a plot for a 12-year-old to play detective. But it don't change the fact, the reality is that there's been 7 people killed in this area. And I feel that Jake Lannon, alias Mr. Howard, I think he's one and the same.
Jack, if you still survive, chunk all your junk back in the trunk, fall on your boot, float, soon your couch.
I'm on a mission for Father. Father taught me all about guns and how to use them. One night, 2 burglars entered our home, and he hesitated, and it cost him his life. I made up my mind at that point to eliminate the world of that kind of scum, to eliminate that kind of scum like Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, he committed a crime. He paid for it. He served his time in prison. He was rehabilitated. And when he got out, he wanted to become a lawman in order to help others.
He was on my list. Street people, they just got in the way. He killed a man in a robbery. Serving his time and going straight, that won't set things right. That won't bring that man back to his family that he killed.
So that explains your behavior in the military, the hatred for the lawbreaker, and why you killed Mr. Johnson.
You're next on my list.
What if I don't face you? You know, I could be committing suicide just going up against you. I mean, what if I don't face you? I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you're gonna face me man to man, or I'll shoot you down like I did those street people. Knew you were coming, sir. I knew you were fast on the draw. No. You ever been up against a man who can really use a gun? I don't think you have. You gotta get in close. So close, you can't possibly miss. No, sir. I'm gonna put you in your grave, boy.
I'm gonna start walking, and when I get in close, I'm gonna start shooting. You better draw on me, Mr. Howard. You better draw. Sheriff Winslow, I want to thank you for the insurance of deputizing me. I thought this cold case had came to a dead end, but I think we're about to get to the bottom of it. I mean, why did this vigilante come to this town? I just feel that he thought that Jim Henderson is here. Why was that to Jim Henderson? I just feel that Jim was his #1 target because he killed a man and escaped prosecution. And that Mr. Johnson, as well as the street people, they just happened to be here. What I'm saying, Sheriff Winslow, you are a lawman. You served in law enforcement long before you ran for sheriff, and you've been elected 5 straight terms. That's quite an accomplishment. The belief of the people in your county. Now, what I'm saying is, the vigilante, he left the bodies. He didn't try to hide them. We don't know the name that Jim Henderson is going under. What I'm saying is, we need to check all hangouts. And if there's anybody that's been missing for the last couple of days, check out the address and we might find the body of Jim Henderson. And if not, I'm saying that Jim Henderson has left town. Mr. Benson, we've got to the bottom of this case, and I hope that it brings closure for you. Jim Henderson, the man that killed your brother, he's dead. He was killed by a vigilante. The vigilante is dead. Now, Jim Henderson, the man that killed your brother, he hasn't killed anyone else. This Owen Carter, the man that you thought Jim killed, he was involved in a drug ring, and he was killed by the people that employed him. It can get dangerous, but maybe I like the danger in the job. Maybe that's why I want to be a cold case investigator. Mr. Williams, I realize you got work to do, and I wish you a good day. Well, look, I wish you the best, and I'll get back with you.
Expecting my son, Ron. Yeah. That could be him. Excuse me, ladies. Let me see. Yeah, it's Ron. He's home. Yeah, my boy's here. Great. Oh, boy, I gotta go greet him. My son is home. He's home finally.
Can you believe this? He's got no place here. My husband, Sammy, he's the one that's worked night and day to keep this place going. While it's no good, brother, he leaves with the money that we need for expenses to keep this farm going.
I'm scared of that man. Who knows what he'll do when he gets to drinking? And what if he turns on Mr. Brooks? I don't know that he can keep him straight.
Oh, there you are, Sam. Got good news. Your brother's back home. Isn't that great? Tell you what, let's go over to the house and see the boy.
Gracious.